Hello, Potato! If you watched the most recent Weekend Magic video, you probably have a pretty good idea what this video is going to be about, or indeed if you looked at the thumbnail or the title for this video. I don't know why I do intros like this, because one should assume you have an idea what this video is about before you start watching this video. But anyways, this video is about the first of the items that I purchased at the LEGO store at the big August 1st release, and that's going to be the biggest set, Kit 75314, the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle, I believe otherwise known as the Havoc Marauder, but not called that because they have another kit in this release called the Marauder, and that would just be confusing. Grandma, I want the LEGO Marauder, and you get the wrong one, and then Junior's all upset. So best to just avoid the problem and not call that. Plus, let's face it, it seems like LEGO's kind of dropping a lot of proper names. After all, the slave one was called Boba Fett Starship, and I am not triggered about that like some people are, but I do notice that it happened. And that's the last we'll speak of it, at least for this video. Instead, let's talk about the kit we're going to put together in this video. Yes, the box is bashed up. It must have come from a Bad Batch. But that's the good thing about LEGO, is that it's supposed to come broken. You're supposed to put it together. So a bashed up box isn't really a bad thing, unless of course you're giving it as a gift, or there's like a hole and some bricks may have fallen out. So in this kit, we're going to have the Havoc Marauder itself, not quite to the right scale, but that's kind of the way it goes unless you want to buy like $500 LEGO kits. And I guess just to beef it up a little bit, there's a couple little swoop bikes in there. I don't remember specifically what episode those are from, but swoop bikes are cool. I do have a few of them on hand at any given time anyways, so why not a few more? You get a lot of minifigures in this kit. You got Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Echo, Crosshair, and a Gonk droid. Of course, no Omega, which I bring up every time I mention this kit, that there's no Omega in it for some reason. And yeah, they released it just in time for the finale of the series, or at least of Series 1. They have announced a Series 2 is coming out, so we will get to see more of the Bad Batch, presumably later in the year, next year, probably next year. Let's assume next year. But yep, got a lot of stuff in here. The ship itself is fairly small, but again, you do beef it up by giving you a couple swoop bikes and the full Bad Batch. Although I would have kind of preferred to have Crosshair in his original Bad Batch armor, not in his TK Trooper armor. But I mean, to be fair, that is kind of the way we see him for most of the series. So this kit is 969 pieces. I believe it was about $100, which is normal for a kit of between 900 and 1,000 pieces. And I don't expect it'll take too long to put together. It is big enough that it's actually a tape shut box, not a thumb punch. So let's open it up and see what we are looking at here. My thought is this should be a single video. It's only 1,000 pieces. It may just be kind of a long video. All right, what do we got? I see we've got stickers. That's always fun. One thing I do like about some of these boxes now is they've put almost like a cereal box thing here. So you can actually close this up, I guess, for people who keep the boxes. But it's nice because then I can set the box up right back there. And other than the fact it's got a big, huge dent in the side of it, it looks okay. So let's get this all organized and see what all we're looking at. Again, we got stickers. We got kind of a thick book. So is this just the way they're doing that? Because I noticed in another kit I've worked on recently that I haven't done a video for yet, but that's coming, probably not for another month or so though, that the books are kind of coming out more like this now. That's not a problem, although it does seem like you get some pretty severe wear here when you hold the book open while you're putting things together. So we got 7 parts, 7, 6. Another thing I've noticed recently is that we seem like we're getting less bags per section. Is that a 9 or is that a 6? So instead of getting, 3 or 4 bags for section 1, section 2, so on, it's only 1 or 2 bags, and I kind of like that. Here's section 1, and here's section 1. So yeah, every section is just a single bag, except for section 1, which is 2 bags. Let's take a look at our book and our stickers, because why not look at our stickers? I mean, you can see on the box where the stickers are going to go. They're going to be like right there, probably right there and there maybe. What do we have? I actually don't see stickers that look like that, so maybe that's actually a printed piece. Huh. Well, we'll see what they go to. Okay, well that's definitely that. And that goes there. And yeah, that's there. I don't know. Looks like it's mostly going to be on the swoop bikes. That's kind of interesting. Not on the ship itself. Let's put those aside for now. And hold up the book. There's the QR code if you're interested. And yeah, it looks like the beginning is going to be the droids, and the droid, singular, and the swoop bikes, and then we'll move into the rest of the build. So I guess without any more talk, we will get in to the fast forward of the build, which yeah, looks like part 1 is going to be all bikes with Hunter and Crosshairs. So yeah, let's get into the fast forward without any more talk, because I've already wasted like 7 minutes of your life. And if you're here to watch this, you presumably want to watch this get built in fast forward. So let's do that. and done. So, let's take a look at what we got. First of all, a very spindly build. I do not think this is actually going to be a very good play with set. These are not attached, I think, particularly well. Unless I've totally messed something up, which is entirely possible. Because honestly, looking at the picture, it feels like there should be something back in this area, and I don't have that. So either I've done something horribly, horribly wrong, which is entirely possible, or you know what? I think I have. I think I have done something horribly, horribly wrong, but I'm not quite sure how to fix it. You know what? Let's pause here and see if I can fix that. All right, so now I fixed it. Yeah, now they're put together properly. I had this piece on here instead of running those into this and running those back here. So that's a much more stable build now. That said, I still think this is a little fiddly for children to play with because these pieces want to fall off very easily. There's no, sort of landing gear or anything, but you do have the ability to totally flip the wings around into the flying formation, just like on the show, which is nice. Yeah, this really something should go back here, but I know I didn't miss anything that much. Alright, but yeah, still a little fiddly, I think, for kids. I think if you're buying this for a child, you are going to spend a fair amount of time putting it back together for them. But it's nice that the front here flips up a little bit individually, but of course the fin does kind of get in the way of doing that. But the whole thing flips up to show the inside. So we have the cockpit, which you can put a couple minifigures in. You can put one back there and one up there. You put the rest of the crew in the back there, although maybe not with the Gonk droid. He kind of takes up the whole space. And then you have this little compartment. I think it's to stay open. It's a very loose hinge. But this actually opens up. So you could probably put extra weapons or whatever things. Maybe the helmets. Maybe the helmets will fit in there? Let's see. No, they do not. But the guns. You can put the guns in there. And something's falling off. But oh yeah, that whole box actually comes out, which is interesting. It does stay in place a little bit better once you put the lid down. But this is kind of what I mean about fiddly bits and it being a little fragile. I mean, just in handling it to talk about it, this fell off, I think, down here, which I'm probably going to fix later because that gave me trouble during the video. If you watched the build, I had trouble getting these pieces to stay on. But overall, it looks nice. It does look nice. It would look good on a shelf. I don't know if it's particularly good for play, although it does have, of course, the standard play feature of launching missiles. And, of course, I can set one off by accident. Here we go. Yep, they do show it with a bit of force, which is nice. They're just kind of under the wings there. And yeah, like all Star Wars things have to come with shooting blasters now. But aside from the ship, you do, of course, have the two swoop bikes. This one's actually a lot larger than I thought it was going to be on the box. It's, almost the length of the actual ship. Of course, I've put Crosshair on it as he appears on the box. And then we have the other little swoop bike, which on the box shows Tech driving it. And right now, I don't have anybody driving it. It's just where it is. Let's look at the minifigures. So, we have Hunter, which has his angry face and a less angry face, and you can put him on with his Snake Plissken Solid Snake Rambo hair or his helmet, which does look pretty cool. The helmets are nicely rendered in this. I do like the nicely rendered helmets. And of course, he's got his character defining knife, because that's his little character quirk. We have Crosshair here. And in his black TK armor, that just came off. There we go. And he's got his rifle, And if you look really closely, it doesn't show up too well, and I can't get too close to the camera without it getting all out of focus, but he does actually have the little crosshair scar around his eye. He only has the one face, though. I guess because he doesn't have hair. So if you have him without his helmet on, you just have the back of his head, and he's not meant to be Voldemort from the first Harry Potter movie. Next we have Echo, who again has two faces. We have one with the goggles, one without the goggles, kind of quizzical looking. Or you can put on, I think he has the coolest helmet. You can put on his helmet. The visor does not go up and down, which is kind of a pity, but I think he has the nicest helmet. Kind of makes things like Ant-Man though. And he's got his little tech pack. Yep. I think he's probably my favorite in the set. I just think they did a good job of giving him like a fair amount of personality. Although it also looks kind of like a Peter Venkman's hair from the Ghostbusters set. Next up, let's take a look at Echo. I'm a little surprised at Echo. They gave him two hands. I kind of thought we would just have like a little spike there to be like his little tool in the show. And again, with him, only one face, because he's got his cybernetics on the back of his head. And again, no hair to cover up that second face if you gave him one. And his fairly, I think, just kind of looks like a repainted Stormtrooper helmet, which, I mean, let's face it, that's what it is. But his doesn't have the personality, I think, of some of the others. And then finally, we have Wrecker. For some reason, Wrecker came with two sets of armor. I don't know if that's a mistake or an intentional spare, but I have a second Wrecker armor there. He's also got kind of a cool helmet. I mean, it's not... The sculpt isn't anything particularly interesting, but I love the paint job on it. And then he's got just the one face. Well, because again, Wrecker doesn't have any hair. So no helmet means back of his head's exposed. But he's got his little scar, his messed up eye. And yep, I think I like Echo better. Or it's not Echo. Tech the best of the minifigures. But they're all nice. They're all nicely painted, nicely designed minifigures. I mean, as far as minifigures go. The bikes are neat because now I have, more bikes to add to my little swoop biker gang if I want to do things like that. But I don't right now. But honestly, I mean, realistically, given that it's a Bad Batch Attack Shuttle set, I would have maybe preferred they put some more pieces into the shuttle, or maybe just released it at a little bit of a lower price. Instead of putting 100 or so pieces into these bikes, maybe knock, 10 or 20 bucks off the price and sell me just the ship. Or again, make the ship a little bit bigger. Again, I feel like this is not a good play with ship. I feel like this is kind of ugly, which of course is why they show it in flight formation on the box. I'm not quite sure how you get around that, short of just making the wings even thicker to put stuff that would cover the bottom here to hide the underside of the studs. But I mean, that could be ugly too. But overall, on a shelf, I think this looks quite nice. I don't think it's good for play with. I don't recommend this as a kit to buy children, just because again, I think it's gonna be a little bit of a frustrating build for a lot of kids. Some people like post online about how, well, my child's special because they can put together the Saturn rocket without adult help. Well, the Saturn rocket's not that fiddly if you look at it. This has a lot of little fiddly bits. It's very wobbly. And I mean, bits of it it's hard to put together. It looks nice once it's done, but it's not an easy build. It's not probe droid difficult, but it's not an easy build. Of course, it would also help if I wasn't an idiot and could have followed the instructions properly and put the wings on properly the first time around, but we fix that now. And they are a little bit more stable. I mean, things aren't exactly falling off, except for this piece, which goes right down there. And that's a pain to get back on. I had trouble fiddling with that area in the build to begin with, because it kept falling off, and trying to put it back on knocked the whole section off. And you can close these in a little bit to make it look like you're flying at a higher speed, but again, bits of it fall apart, which it's doing now. This whole section now wants to fall off, and that's really it's not gonna be a good kit for children, but for adult fans of the show, I mean, it says 9 and up on it, but I wouldn't get this for a child that young. Not for a child who's actually going to try to play with it. For a child who's going to build it and put it on a shelf, aces. For a kid to play with, I don't recommend this kit. But I do overall like it. I think it looks nice. I don't regret buying it. I love the minifigures. I wish it came with Omega, but you can't have everything, right? I would have traded Omega even for one of these bikes. I honestly don't remember what episode these bikes are from. I'm assuming this is a scene in the show, but I don't remember what it is. Still, it is now built. It's not a bad ship. It's not a super easy build. It's not a super stable build. These bits here in particular do not want to stay put. They do a good job visually of hiding the join for the sides here and where the wings put on, but they want to fall off. They are the least stable part of this build now that I fixed the wings. But that's going to wrap this video up. I think we've been looking at this long enough now. It's nice. They're nice. And I'll probably post some pictures of it up on the @Void of Intelligence Instagram for some closer looks. But if you found this build at all interesting or entertaining, if you did, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.